Welcome back to Let's Make a Game, a channel about making computer role-playing games using the free program Twine and the Sugarcube format for Twine. In games of this type, it's fairly common to have logic puzzles that the player has to solve. It depends on the genre as to whether having logic puzzles makes sense. If you had a sort of, a noir detective story or a fairly realistic story set during World War II or something like that, it wouldn't make a lot of sense to have a logic puzzle. But if it was a sort of whimsical fantasy or a whimsical science fiction story, then it probably would make more sense. But there's a problem with logic puzzles, and that is once the player solves them, if they play the game again and get the same puzzle again, well, they already know the answer, and so they can't they can just put in the answer, and that's not very fun. So if you are going to have logic puzzles, what you may want is you may want to have a different puzzle each time. In other words, you may want to have a way of randomly generating puzzles of a particular type. And that's what I've done, and that's what I'm going to demonstrate in this video. Specifically, I've created a code for making what are sometimes called knights and knaves puzzles. These are puzzles where you have these hypothetical beings who are either knights who always tell the truth or knaves who always lie, and sometimes you have a third category of normals who might lie or might tell the truth. I decided to call them angels, devils, and aliens, but that's just an aesthetic choice, and of course you could easily change that, change it back, or change it to something else. And so I'm going to demonstrate an example of the program running, and then I'll spend the rest of the video going through the code that makes it possible. So it says, I'll just highlight this bit. There are three beings. One is an angel, one a devil, and one an alien, but you don't know who is who. The angel only makes true statements, the devil only makes false statements, and the alien may make true or false statements. The three beings say the following. So all of that text that I've highlighted there, that's always the same. You always, so far, I would like to expand this code in future videos if there's enough interest. But at the moment, it's always exactly three beings and always exactly one is an angel, one's a devil, and one's an alien. So this bit is different each time, or at least, I assume there's a finite number of possibilities, but practically speaking, it will be different each time. So let's go through this. I haven't looked at this yet, so I'll be trying to work this out live. So being 1 says that being 2 is the devil. Being 2 says that being 3 is the angel and I am the alien. Being 3 says that being 1 is the devil and I am the alien. So we could, let's start by saying, if this one is the angel, well, we can say that being 2, sorry, we can say that being 1, actually no, sorry, you can see I genuinely am doing this live. I'm not pretending to work this out. I am actually looking at this for the first time. Let's start by saying that being 1 is the angel and see where that takes us. If being 1 is the angel, then being 2 is the devil, and because the angels always tell the truth. So if being 1 is the angel, then being 2 is the devil. If being 2 is the devil, then being 3 is not the angel, because devils always lie, and being 2 is not the alien. Well, those two are compatible with it being the devil. So it may be the case that being 1's the angel, being 2 is the devil, and being 3 is the alien. If being 1 is the devil, then that's compatible with saying being 2 is the devil, because the devil always lies. But we can see that 2 two of the beings, being 2 and being 3, both say, I am the alien. And the angel would never say, I am the alien, because the angel only tells the truth. So actually, we know that being 1 not only can be the angel, but must be the angel. So being 1 must be the angel. Being 2 hang on. Being 1, if being 1 is the angel, being 1 must be the angel, and that means being 2 must be the devil, and that means by elimination being 3 must be the alien. So the answer must be angel, devil, alien. So let's have a look at the answer. And we see that it is angel, devil, alien. And if we choose restart, we should get a different, yes we do, we get a different set of questions. So we can see that this is the same as it was before. Now being 1 says being 2 is the devil and I am the angel. Being 2 says being 1 is the devil, I am the angel. Being 3 is the angel, being 3 is the devil. And being 3 says I am the angel and being 2 is the devil. So we have 2 beings who claim to be the angel. And they both say that being 2 is the devil. The order of the statements doesn't matter, by the way. Being 2 is the devil followed by I am the angel is logically the same as, in this context, is the same as I am the angel being 2 is the devil. So they both say that being 2 is the devil. And they could be the angel and the alien, because the alien sometimes tells the truth. And in that case, that would mean that one of them was the angel, being 2 was the devil, and the other one was the alien. So that gives us 2 possibilities. Or it could be that they're the devil and the alien, because the devil always lies, and so being 2 is the devil and I am the angel would both be lies, and then the alien happens to be lying both times. But let's have a look at this. Being 2 makes 2 contradictory claims. Being 2 also claims to be the angel as well. Being 2 says being 3 is the angel, but also that being 3 is the devil. Well, that means they must be the alien, because the angel always tells the truth, and so the angel could never say contradictory things. So that means they must be either being 2 must be either the devil or the alien. Actually, they could be the devil. Being 2 could be the devil, and being 3 could be the alien. This one's really confusing. I'm genuinely doing this live. Okay, so being 2 is definitely not the angel. So how do we work out? Being 2 is definitely not the angel. So one of being 1 or 2, one of being 1 or 3 is the angel. And that means being 2 must be the devil, because both of these beings claim that being 2 is the devil. And if one of them is the angel, one of them must be telling the truth. So being 2 is the devil, and that means that being 3 must be not the angel and not the devil. So that must mean that one's the angel, that one's the devil, and that one's the alien. So it's angel, devil, alien, I think. Angel, devil, alien. Okay, so there we go. So that's how it works. Sometimes it's quite easy, sometimes it's quite hard. And then I'm not going to do it for a third time, but you can see that there's a third set of statements. And this time the answer must be different, because being 1 says that being 2 is the angel. Well, the angel wouldn't do that, because the angel only tells the truth. And if being 2 was the angel, being 1 wouldn't be the angel. So being 1's not the angel. But anyway, we can see that the answer is different this time without going into it. All right, so that's the puzzle. That's how it works. Let's have a look at the code, which might take a little bit of time because, as you can see, it's seven pages and there's a fair bit of code in each one. So I noticed that I called this untitled passage. I should have called it an initialize or something, but anyway, doesn't matter. We'll zoom in. That's probably a bit far. There we go. Okay, so let's go through the variables. We have S. S is a two-dimensional array. SZY is the yth statement made by being Z, unless the value is 0. So that really means SZY is the yth statement made by being Z if Y is at least 1. But I didn't put that because I thought it was fairly clear. SZ0 is how many statements being Z makes. So if being 3 made 2 statements, then S30 would have a value of 2. N is an array with the names of the roles, angel, devil, and alien. R is an array with essentially the answer to the puzzle, the roles of the 3 beings. So, for example, if R1 is 2, then being 1 has role 2, which is devil, which we can see from looking at N. E, this is a very important array. E stands for elimination, and there are a finite number of possibilities. There's actually quite a small number of possibilities. There's actually only 6 possibilities, really. Being 1 could be the angel and being 2 the devil. 1 could be the angel and 3 the devil. And then 2, 1, 2, 3, 3, 1, and 3, 2. So there's only 6. And how do we sort of set those out in an array so it's easy to deal with them? Well, I decided to have a one-dimensional array, and the slot is based on angel times 10 plus devil. Now, what I mean by that is, for example, let's say if being 3 is the angel and being 2 the devil, E32 is the slot that relates to that possibility. In other words, if E32 is set to 1, that means that the way we've set the puzzle up so far makes it impossible that being 3 is the angel and being 2 is the devil. If E32 is 0, then that means it's still possible for being 3 to be the angel and being 2 the devil. So bear in mind that E stands for elimination and 1 means impossible, whereas you might think 1 means possible. Sort of seems more like 1 should be impossible and 0 should be impossible, like 1 is true and 0 is false. But because we start with everything being possible, it's easier to start with everything at 0 and then add 1s as we go. We've set 1 to elimination, so that's sort of counterintuitive. Okay, so this is setting up E. This is setting up S, and this is setting up E. So we set up E. We have a for loop that goes from 1 to 3. We set SZ to itself be an array, and then we set SZ0 to be 0 because, of course, at the beginning of the run of the program, we haven't assigned any statements to any of the beings yet. Then we set up E, and we start because of this formula of angel times 10 plus devil. The lowest possible number is 12, and the highest possible number is sort of 32. So we have a for loop that goes from 12 to 32, and we set EZ to 0. There's a fair bit of wasted code here because it's going to go, like, as well as 12 and 13, it's going to do 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, and 19, and they're all not in use. So it's going to do quite a lot of, like, by setting it up as a one-dimensional array, there's quite a lot of sort of wasted code, and it does slow down the code a little bit. It would be quicker to have it. It would be quicker to process if it was a two-dimensional array. But anyway, I set it up as a one-dimensional array. It was just easier to code. I might change it later. And then we set E11, 22, and 33 to 1 because these possibilities are always eliminated because you can't, we know by the nature of the question we know that the angel and the devil must be separate beings. So it can't be that being 1 is the angel and being 2 is the devil. It can't be that being 2 is the angel and being 2 the devil, and so on. And then there's just the normal note which says that Z, Y, X, and W are going to be temporary variables. And having done all that, we go to roles. Now, what this is doing is setting up who is who. So we set Z and Y to be a random number from 1 to 3. If Z is equal to Y, we include roles. That is, we go back to the top of the page and do it again. Otherwise, we know that Z is the angel, Y is the devil, and 6 minus Z minus Y is going to be the alien. So here's an example. Let's say 1 is the angel and 3 is the devil. Then 6 minus 1 minus 3 is going to be 2. And that gives us the remaining slot. The remaining being is the alien. Because 1, 2, and 3 add up to 6, it's just that 6 minus Z minus Y is going to be equal to the alien, because the value of the angel, the devil, and the alien is always going to be exactly 6, because it's going to be 1, 2, and 3 in some order. And then we just set RZ. Oh my goodness. Oh no, I thought I'd made a mistake. I thought I'd made a horrible mistake. Okay, sorry. Then we set, so roll Z is equal to 1, which is the angel. Roll Y is equal to 2, which is the devil. And roll 6 minus Z minus Y is equal to 3, which is the alien. Sorry about that. I thought I'd always set roll 1 to be 1 and roll 2 to be 2. I just misread what I saw. Anyway, so having done that, we go to statements. So we've set up the sort of variables in this passage, which should be called initialize, and I very sloppily kept it as untitled passage. Then we have roles. The reason this is on a separate page is because we might have to start again if we generate Z and Y to be the same. And now we're going to assign statements to the different beings. Now, this consists of a few different steps. We're going to choose who's going to make the statement. That's what this means. Z is a random number from 1 to 3. Then we're going to go to generate statement, where we're going to generate what they're going to say. And when we come back from generate statement with a statement, the reason we do this separately in generate statement is we might have to redo the statement, because some beings can't make some statements. An alien can say anything, but the angel can't lie and the devil can't tell the truth. So we may need to randomly generate a given statement several times. But once we come back from generate statements, we know that being Z will claim that being Y has role X. So all of the statements are of the form being such and such is the angel, is the devil, or is the alien. But when Z is equal to Y, in other words, when, say, being 2 is claiming that being 2 is a particular thing, it doesn't say being 2 is the thing, it says I am the thing. But it's sort of logically equivalent to claiming that they are, that being 2 is the thing. If that makes sense, it's just a sort of, it seems more natural to say I am the devil rather than say being 2 is the devil when it's being 2 speaking. So let's go to generate statement, and then we'll come back to the rest of this code later. So generate statement, we set Y equals random 1 to 3, and we set X is random 1 to 3. So as we've said, being Z will claim that being Y has role X. And now we have to check whether that's okay. So the devil never makes true statements. So if RZ is equal to 2, in other words, if the being that's speaking is the devil, and RY is equal to X, in other words, the claim is true, being Z is claiming that being Y has role X. If RY really does equal X and it's the devil speaking, well, that's the devil making a true statement. So we need to include generate statement. That is, we need to go to the top of the page and redo X and Y. And similarly, since the angel never makes false statements, if RZ is equal to 1 and RY does not equal X, that's what that exclamation mark equals means. It just means does not equal. If RY is not equal to, if RY is not equal to X and it's the angel speaking, then that's the angel making a false statement, and again we need to include generate statement. If it's the alien speaking, we never need to do anything because the alien can make both true and false statements. So eventually we'll get a sort of a statement that's compatible with the requirements of the puzzle, and then we'll go back to, we'll find ourselves back at statements here. Then we have to add 1 to SZ0. You'll remember that SZ0 is the number of statements that being number Z makes. So it starts at 0 and then we increment it. And then this is the grammar thing. If Z is equal to Y, in other words, if the being making the statement is the same as the being that the statement is about, then we find SZ0, which you'll see is that number in there, which is the number of statements, and then we go S square bracket Z n square bracket SZ0 n square bracket. So in other words, SZ, the number of statements that this being has made, because that's the current statement, that's the one that we're currently generating and filling in. So for example, the first time this is done, SZ0 will be 1, so this will be SZ1 will be filled in, and then the next time that being makes a statement, if they do make a second statement, then SZ2 will be filled in, and so on. So we set this to I am the, otherwise they're making a claim about another being and they say being Y is the. And then we have to put in the other part of the statement, which is what this being is claiming. So we set SZ, and then within this brackets we have SZ0 equals itself. That length of code is exactly the same as that. So we're just saying S this equals S this plus NX. Remember that N is the angel, the devil, or the alien. It's the number of the role. It's the claim that's being made in this case. So it'll be something like I am the devil, or I am the alien, or being 2 is the angel, or being 2 is the alien. Something like that, ending in a full stop. Just for looks a bit needed to that. Looks a bit needed to me to have a full stop at the end. So we've generated a statement that's compatible with we've chosen a being to make the statement. We've generated a statement that's compatible with their role. We've written that statement into the relevant slot and we've incremented how many statements they make. Then we have to go to elimination. Elimination deals with the consequences of that statement. Now, what it means is what a person solving the puzzle can know based on the statement, because the computer knows the answer, of course, it knows who's who, but it also has to set the puzzle up so that it's possible to solve. And so it has to make sure, that's what E is for, it has to make sure that a person reading these statements and understanding the puzzle can eliminate all possibilities other than a single possibility. And so that's what elimination is for. So we go, I'll give you elimination. So we deal with it separately. I found it easier to say if Z is equal to Y, in other words, if the being that's speaking is the same as the being about which the claim is made. In other words, if it's an I am the claim, then we deal with it in one subset, and then we have else and deal with the statements about other beings. It just seems to work better that way. So let's go through the claims about oneself, and then that's divided into if x equals 1, because x is the role that is claimed. Remember, it's being Z claiming that being Y has role X. So if Z equals Y and and X is 1, that is a claim, that is an I am the angel claim. And if the claim is I am the angel, that doesn't eliminate any possibility, because the angel will truthfully claim it, and the devil can falsely claim it, and the alien can also falsely claim it. So that doesn't tell you anything. A claim I am the angel is actually just a nothing claim. Whereas a claim to be the devil actually eliminates heaps of possibilities, because only the alien can make this claim. An angel can't make the claim because it would be false, and the devil can't make the claim because it would be true. So we can eliminate any possibility where Z is the angel or where Z is the devil, because we know that Z has to be the alien if they make this claim. So that's what we do here. We eliminate possibility 10 plus Z, 20 plus Z, and 30 plus Z, and we eliminate 10 times Z plus 1, 10 times Z plus 2, and 10 times Z plus 3. So let's go through an example. Let's say that Z is 2. If Z is 2, if the being making the claim is being number 2, and they claim, if being 2 says, I am the devil, then we know that being 2 is the alien. And that means we can eliminate possibility 12, because possibility 12 is being 1 is the angel and being 2 is the devil. We eliminate possibility 22. There's always going to be a redundancy in one of these. We eliminate possibility 22. Well, that's already eliminated anyway. But we eliminate possibility 32, which is that being 3 is the angel and being 2 is the devil. Then we eliminate possibility 10 times Z plus 1, so that's 21, because that's the possibility that being 2 is the angel and being 1 is the devil. We eliminate possibility 22, well, that's already eliminated anyway, and we eliminate possibility 23, which is the possibility that being 2 is the angel and being 3 is the devil. So it actually eliminates only 4 possibilities, but we have to put 6 bits of code. There's always going to be one where 10 or 20 or 30 plus Z will equal either 11, 22, or 33. And similarly, there's always going to 10 times Z plus 1, 2, or 3 is always going to equal 11, 22. One of those will equal 11, 22, or 33. So that actually eliminates 4 possibilities, but it still does quite a lot. So, and then else, well, the else is if x doesn't equal 1 and if x doesn't equal 2. Well, in this program, x can only ever equal 3 if it doesn't equal 1 or 2. So that is a claim to be the alien. And the devil can make that claim because it's false, and the alien can make that claim because the alien can make any claim. And so the angel will never make that claim. So we eliminate possibility Z times 10 plus 1 plus 2 and plus 3. So for example, if being 1 said I am the alien, then we know that possibility 11, 12, and 13 are all false. Well, 11 is false because it's always false, but 12 is false because it can't be that being 1 is the angel and 2 the devil, because the angel wouldn't make the claim to be the alien, and so similarly for the other one. So that's claims about the self. That's if Z equals Y, and then we have else, and so now we're going to lead to claims about another being, and this is a little bit more complicated. It goes down to here. This is a little bit more complicated and tends to eliminate slightly less. You'll see anyway. So, well, slightly less on average. Anyway, so these are statements about other. So if x equals 1, so that is a claim that being Y is the angel. We know that the angel will never make that claim about another being, because the angel only tells the truth, and if the angel can't say, like, there can't be 2 angels because of the way the the problem is set up. There can't be two angels, and so the angel could never truthfully say that other being is an angel. And so we eliminate all possibilities where the being making the claim is the angel. It also eliminates the possibility that Z, the being making the claim, is the devil, and Y, the being about whom the claim is made, is the angel, because the devil would never make a true claim. So we eliminate the possibility 10 times Y plus Z. So it doesn't eliminate the possibility that Z is the devil. It only eliminates the possibility that Z is the devil and Y is the angel. It could still be the case that Z is the devil and Y is the alien, because then the devil could falsely claim that Y is the angel. Then we go to x equals 2. That is a claim that being Y is the devil. That eliminates the possibility that Z is the angel and Y the alien, because then an angel would be making a false claim. And so we have to eliminate this possibility, which is 10 times Z plus 6 minus Z minus Y. Why 6 minus Z minus Y? Well, 10 times Z, because that eliminates the possibility that Z is the angel. Why 6 times Z times Y? Well, because if Y is the alien, then in this circumstance, Y is not the devil and Z is not the devil. So therefore 6 minus Z minus Y must be the devil. So we're eliminating the possibility that 10 times Z gives us the angel and 6 minus Z minus Y gives us the devil. And then finally, we have the claim that being Y is the alien, and that eliminates two possibilities. Z is the angel and Y is the devil, because that would be an angel making a false claim, and Z is the devil and Y the alien, because that would give us the devil making a true claim. And so we get rid of Z times 10 plus Y, and 10 times, I could have expanded this, but I didn't. It is 10 times 6 minus Z minus Y plus Z. Now I'm sure that simplifies to something better, but I left it this way because it's sort of clearer. So we can see that if Z is the devil and Y the alien, then that means that 6 minus Z minus Y must be the angel, because 6 minus Z minus Y is the number that's not Z or Y. And Z, the devil. So we've eliminated, unless it's a claim that I am the angel, we've eliminated some possibilities. And now we check if there is how many arrangements are left, or how many arrangements we've eliminated. There are 9 possibilities, and in this case we're counting 11 as one of the possibilities. I could have started counting from 12. I just found it a bit conceptually easier to start from 11, even though 11 is impossible. And similarly, I found it easier to go up to 33, even though 33 is impossible. We set Z equal to 0. We go from 11 to 33, and we add to Z the value of EY. And of course, EY is always going to be 0 or 1. So in other words, every time there's a possibility that's been eliminated, we add 1 to Z. Or to say it even simpler, Z is the number of arrangements that have been eliminated. And if Z equals 8, that means we've eliminated all possibilities except 1. Because there are 9 possibilities, counting the impossible 11, 22, and 33. So if Z is equal to 8, then we've eliminated every possible answer except for 1, and therefore the puzzle is one that can be solved. And if that is the case, we go to give statements. And if it's not the case, we go back to statements. So statements is this one that we've already looked at. In other words, we go through this and we say, great, we've eliminated 3 possibilities so far. Well, we start by having 3 eliminated, I suppose. We say, well, we've eliminated 5. That's not enough to solve the puzzle completely. So therefore, we'll go back to give statements, and we'll have another being make another statement. And we'll keep doing that until we get to 8. And then the puzzle is solvable, and we go to give statements. And then we just print the text that is always printed. And then we print a table with the different beings and their different statements. And this is a lot simpler than it looks like. But I'll go through it. It's a HTML table, which we've discussed before. We have a loop, which goes from 1 to 3. And we start a row, and then we have a cell in which we just say being in bold, we have being 1 or being 2 or being 3. Then we have another cell on the same row where we either, if SZ0 is equal to 0, in other words, if that being hasn't said anything, we just have a little statement that says being Z says nothing, or we print their first statement. So we have a row in a table where the left-hand cell has 2 columns, and the left-hand column has being 1, being 2, or being 3, and it has either their first statement or this bracket indicating that they don't have any statements. And then we end the row. And then if they have more than one statement, we do some more stuff. Sorry, it goes down to here. If SZ0 is more than 1, then we have another loop which goes from 2 to SZ0. In other words, we're dealing with all of their other statements. And all we're doing, firstly we check if their current statement is a duplicate. So we set x equal to 0. We go from 1 for w equals 1, and note that this is w is less than y, not w is less than or equal to y. So if we're dealing with statement 2, w would only be 1. If we were dealing with statement 3, if y was 3, and we're dealing with the third statement, we'd look at 1 and 2, but not 3, and so on. We look at all the previous statements, and if any of the previous statements are identical to the current statement, we set x equal to 1. And x is a flag that says don't print this statement, it's a duplicate, because there's no point printing duplicate statements. You'll actually find that your duplicate, if I didn't have this in here, you'd find that there'd be lots of, at least a few duplicate statements, and it just makes it look messy and a bit silly without making the puzzle any better, I didn't think. So we set x equal to 1 if we find a duplicate. We go through this loop, and if x is equal to 0, in other words, if we haven't found a duplicate, sorry, I think that's is that the code we're looking at? Is that slightly misaligned? I don't know. Anyway, if x is equal to 0, then we have a row, we have an empty cell, because that's the left-hand column where the being 1, being 2, or being 3 is, and then we print the relevant statement, close off the cell, close off the row, and then we keep going through that for loop, which is that one there. So in other words, it looks, I mean, there's a lot of code there, and then of course we close off the for loop and close off the table. So there's a lot of code there, but it boils down to saying set up a statement, set up a table. The table's going to have 2 columns. First we print being 1, being 2, or being 3. We print either their first statement, or if they don't have any, just to let them know that they don't have any statements. And then if that being has more statements, we print for each of those statements that isn't a duplicate, we print an empty cell, and then in the right-hand column we have the extra statement, and we do that for each being. So then we've given you every statement that isn't a duplicate, and then when you're ready, click to get the answer, and that will send you through to the page which is answer. And answer is very simple. It's just for z equals 1 to 3. It's a for loop. Being z is the, and we print the we look at r z, and we print that that slot in N, remembering that N is this one here. So, for example, if we're looking at 1, we'd look at R1. What role is being number 1? Well, is role number 2. Okay, we'll print N2, and N2 is the devil. So this is just going to give us something like being 1 is the devil, being 2 is the angel, and being 3 is the alien, or something like that. And that is how we generate this particular kind of logic puzzle, which will always be solvable, which is important. Now, there are quite a lot of variants on this type of puzzle, and there's quite a lot of things we could do to make this better and to have more variety and have more interesting puzzles. We don't, for example, we don't have to have the question be that you have to completely solve it. It might be that you have to only say which being is the angel, or it might be that you have to say whether you can say something. Like it might be, given the information that you've got, can you say whether being 2 is the devil? Something like that. Also, there are other statements. There are more complicated statements that the beings could make. So, for example, being 1 might say being 3, being 3's second statement is a lie, or something like that. And they could also make negative statements. They could say being 2, instead of saying being 2 is the alien, they could say being 2 is not the alien. If people are interested, I would like to expand this and add those possibilities. But I will leave it for now, and I hope that it was useful or interesting to at least some of you, and I hope you will tune in next time.